know Doctor Who. And if you don't, then you can go.
Right, hello guys, watching Go Doctor, and we're at Classic Month, and we're near the end of Classic Month. Join me next week for Survival, where we review that. But today we're doing Power of the Daleks, and yeah, let's get onto it. We're going to review it, we're going to give my opinions on it, and going to rank it out of 10. So yeah, let's get onto it. And remember to subscribe and join us on the journey. Let's do it. So, our Power of the Daleks is obviously Patrick Troughton's first story. He regenerates, and we get to see the first Doctor change into the second Doctor, and then we pull up a mirror, and it has an image of the first Doctor just for a second. I really like that. I actually really thought that was pretty clever. That's pretty interesting, and I think it was actually done in the real episode as well, the animation. I think throughout the whole of animation, it was done exact because they wanted to get it exact. But later on with animations now, they don't try and do it exactly as it was. But yeah, with this story, they wanted to make it exact. And it's good to see how it would have happened. Because obviously we only have the audio and telesnaps. And yeah, Ben and Polly in this are interesting characters. We have Ben that does not trust the Doctor 1 second and doesn't think, this guy's not the Doctor. And then Polly's she more feels like it is the Doctor, and she can kind of sense that. And I like that. I think that's interesting to go down. The TARDIS, I think he mentioned roughly, just for a second, that he's connected with the TARDIS, the second Doctor said at the very beginning. And then we go off, adventuring, and then meet this guy, and then, bam! That guy gets shot, and it was the Examiner. And the Doctor takes the Examiner's form for a while, and Ben and Polly just tag along, follow. Ben does not believe it's the Doctor 1 second, and then if it is a Doctor, why isn't he saying anything? Tell us, Doctor, who are you? Why? Stuff like that, you know? And I like that. I like one companion trusts and one companion doesn't, and it just splits them in different ways. Yeah. We have to get the Doctor to try and make sure his companions trust him by the end of the story. But also, the second Doctor's acting a bit weird. He's acting a bit different. But by the end of the story, the second Doctor's kind of got the gist of who he is and what's he going to do. And we get to see him being comedic with the flute. And then we get, whatever instrument. I think it is the flute, but if it's not, fair enough. Yeah, either that, he's playing around with that, he's being serious and telling people to not trust the Daleks, and then he's also being bumbly and, look, fruit, and eating fruit, you know? It's just all that, and I like that animation actually has worked. There are bits that it doesn't work, and I've noticed that when watching, but yeah, I really enjoy the story, really find it fun, and yeah, that's it, really. The animation part, top tier. I mean, well, not top tier. They obviously do better animations now that they're used to the format and where they want to go with it. But with this, with what we've got, it works. Back to the story. So we have the Doctor with the colony, and they find these Daleks, and then obviously in the end of the cliffhanger of part 1, the Dalek is moving out of the shot, and that is such a interesting, eerie setting to see, and I would imagine the 60 kids that watched it back in the day would be like, oh my god. So yeah, I think that's a brilliant cliffhanger. Also we have the cliffhanger of power, and we got all this, and then we have the Daleks all again, loads of Daleks, and they tend to do all Daleks for cliffhanger, and it works quite well and quite intriguing to what goes next. This is 6 parts. It's quite long. It could be dragged down to, I would say 4, but maybe 5. One less story. I think this could have been dragged down to 5 parts, in my opinion. But yeah, it was good. 2.5 hours of quality writing, animation acting, you could say. And yeah, you can definitely see where the story's going, with the Doctor pretending to be the Examiner and gets caught out. He's not the Examiner, but before that, we also get this other guy who obviously killed the original Examiner and is like to the Doctor, you're not the Examiner, and I'm on to you, sort of thing. Which leads the Doctor into prison later on, and then them all having to break him out. Because the Doctor did say at the very beginning, you need to melt these guys down, you need to get rid of the Daleks, and warning them off. But then the guy, I've forgotten his name, but that made the Daleks come back to life and was just using them. And it reminded me of a parallel to Victory of the Daleks in Series 5 of New Who. And it reminded me of that in a way with, I am your servant, I am your servant, would you care for some tea? And it just reminded me of that aspect, and it was quite interesting. Yeah, I liked that they were pretending, and it's the Dalek slipped up at one point. You're like humans, and the Dalek was like, we are not, Daleks are not like, Daleks just want to observe. And it's just like, it was going to say, Daleks are not humans, but it didn't say it because it slipped up a little bit, and I liked that. That was brilliant. Yeah. Ben was quite interested in this. Polly gets captured, and we need to get Polly back. Ben gets taken out. Then we have the main guy getting taken over by the other people who's working for him and after power. And funny enough, yeah, they're all after power. They're all trying to run this colony, and the Daleks are feeding off the power. They need power to survive, and that's a vital thing. Daleks are not ready to fight yet. They're waiting for power. They're trying to trick the humans in giving them power, and when they've got enough power to sustain themselves, they're going to exterminate the humans because there's no need for them anymore. And I like that. How corrupting, how evil, how plot scheming are the Daleks. I like that. It shows them quite well, and menacing and a threat. Yeah, we get to see that, but obviously the Doctor, as always, uses his the Dalek monster's power against him. The Doctor always uses the villain's power against themselves, sort of thing. And the Daleks were shooting the Doctor, they shot the machine instead, and it blew up all the power supply, and it reversed the power into them or something like that, and blew up all the Daleks. And that's how they saved the day. And yeah, it was a good one. Obviously, the guy that tried to tried to fix the Daleks got scared of them after a while because they were doing things and other stuff like that. And then he got killed, which is a deserve, I think. He was a bit of a not a good guy. Well, he was a good guy. He just wanted to absorb. But he found a creature that he wanted to make it his own and make it amazing, but obviously it turned against him. But I'm kind of glad he did die, if that makes sense. But you know, yeah. And then the colony is saved. The powers, the Daleks are destroyed. Although the colony doesn't have any power anymore, and it's going to take a while to get that back, which they're a bit unhappy with the Doctor with. But you can't please them all, and the Doctor, Ben, and Polly go off to the TARDIS for more adventures. And the Doctor looks up at a Dalek that's near the TARDIS, and it's destroyed. Come on, Doctor, they're all destroyed now. And they go off into the TARDIS and fly away. And then you get the Dalek just go, put its head up, just tilts its little eye stalk up. Titles. One Dalek survived. As always, I love that. And that was a good nod. And yeah, that's it. Really good, really interesting. I did watch this in black and white. I do think you can watch it in colour with a different disc. I had 2 discs, but I just picked the first one was in the disc slot. And yeah, I watched it in black and white all the way through. So yeah, I do think they did one in colour, but I haven't seen that. And I've seen the story. I don't need to see it again for a while, but I really enjoyed it. It was a bit draggy in some places, although I think it's a good structured story, and I'm definitely pleased with this animation and want to see more animations in the future. I'm going to give this story out of 10. I'm pushing towards an 8 or a 7, so I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10. Now, a lot of people love this story, and a lot of people are going to say, you can't put it at 7.5, but in the end of the day, it's my opinion. And that's what matters. And let me know in the comments your opinion. What did you think of this episode? Let me know what you rank it out of 10. And of course, subscribe and join us on the journey for more in the future. And I'll see you guys for another video very soon on the channel. Have a nice day.